Hello, hello. G, are we live?
You are live.
Oh, okay, because I didn't hear any countdowns. I didn't see any bubbles. I'm just sitting here like, okay, what is really going on? So anyway, welcome everyone to the Lavern Spicer Show. And I don't see anybody in the room yet. Oh, he said he was using a different computer. Okay. Okay, G, are you in the house? Well, anyway, welcome everybody to the Hood Conservative Podcast, the Lavern Spicer Show. And we're going to start with Parade, not Parade, Parade. Parade, you can tell them a little about yourself.
Hey y'all, I'm P. Ray, founder of Chicago Red. We are an organization dedicated to civic education and patriotic esteem. I hail straight from the west side of Chicago where the sun shines brighter and the people are happier. I am happy to be here. Happy holiday, happy Kwanzaa here in Chicago. We celebrate Kwanzaa at Malcolm X College all 7 days. So if you're in the city, be sure to stop by Malcolm X and get your black on, baby, because it's a good time to be black in America.
Okay, I want to say hello to all the hoodies that are joining us today. Hi, Shanna. I love my parental advisory tag also. And hello, Newt, and everybody else that's in the room. Go ahead on Trevian. There it
Trevian.
is. Trevian.
Good
I got it.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Trevian Kutti. Thank you so much, Lavern, for having me again. I am a publicist, a lobbyist, I'm a cannabis-based lobbyist. I'm also a co-defendant with the soon-to-be 47th President of the United States of America. Let's go. Fannie Willis is gone. Ding dong, the bitch is dead.
Okay, Taj, welcome on the show today.
Thank you for having me, ladies. I appreciate y'all for allowing me to pull up. Homage to Ray, the founder of Black Guns Matter, the founder of the Solutionary Center, the Solutionary Lifestyle. I'm just a person that goes to urban demographics to make sure that folks are being well versed and informed in firearms basics, civics, conflict resolution, de-escalation, and a whole host of other things that have been taken on their own, life. But happy to be here and continue to serve and looking forward to the conversation.
And you have a nonprofit organization, right?
Yeah, we have a nonprofit and we have a profit arm. And the folks that want to support, so quick backdrop to all of the classes that we've done over the last 6 or 7 years have been made available free to all because of voluntary donations. Whether that's like, hey, I want to donate so somebody could take a basic firearms class. I want to donate so somebody can take a stop the bleed class, whatever that looks like. All of that is based on voluntary donations. This does not mean free in the sense of socialism. It means if the people choose to pay it forward for others that are beginners that want to learn, they're making a decision to vote with their dollars. And so that's kind of like what we do. And we're about 120, maybe 120, $30,000 away from raising and giving away $1 million to make these classes happen to all, for all.
Okay, that's beautiful. I somebody, we got a little static in the room. So if you have your phone, please turn it down, turn the volume down. So we don't have that interference. Um, I also have a nonprofit organization, and I know one thing. I know I started it over 25 years ago, and I know the struggle is real. Everything is so competitive out here. When you're trying to do anything, whether it's getting grants or getting donations, especially in Miami, because there's so many nonprofits. Somebody said, "I'm white. Can I join?" Taj.
Yeah, so y'all can anybody. The reason why we focus on urban centers is because those are the areas where there's the most ignorance around firearm safety and the Second Amendment. Gun control, I'm not the person that calls everything racist. Some things in America just historically have been. Whether you're talking about redlining or the lack of school choice. And one of those big things has been gun control. Gun control was literally started to make sure that black folks, and we're not even just talking about the 1965 through 68 Black Panthers, because the Gun Control Act of 68 clearly reflects that. But we're talking about all the way back as far as like almost before emancipation. And so those are the areas where there's high concentrations of folks that happen to be more melanated, that we want to make sure that that context is informed there. So a lot of the folks that are Solutionary Nine members, that are members of our organization, or people that just like, hey, I want to support. Some of them melanated, some of them not. So it's just to solve the problem that government overreach has created in violation of the constitutional rights that Black people should be afforded or were not afforded. And so addressing that in the demographic that's impacted by it the most. But that don't mean like, hey, if you're a cool white person, cool Indian person, cool Asian person, cool Black person, and you want to support our work, we're 1000% willing to work with anybody that's trying to overturn some of these over 20,000 unconstitutional gun statutes around the country. So yeah, it's a short answer is yes. If you're white and you want to join a membership, learn and all of that, take classes, you absolutely can.
And that's a wonderful thing, because if you're gonna use your firearm, at least get some training in. So Taj is here to help you all with that. You can also go to his page on Twitter, your platforms. Taj, tell them all the platforms that they can find you on to get more information. And also the donation link is there. So let
Yeah.
them know where to find that.
Everybody, I've been kicked off of social media about 4 times. I think 3 times on Instagram and one on Twitter. So my numbers are a little bit lower. I think on X now I have maybe about 40,000 followers there. But X is at Maj Toure, MAJTOURE 999. MAJTOURE 999 on X, formerly known as Twitter. And on Instagram is Big Daddy Toure. My main page is Big Daddy Toure, BIGDADDYTOURE. And the backup is Maj Toure 999. That's where everybody can get with me for social media. As it relates to the site where people can go donate, it's givesengo.com/solutionary. But even outside of that, I want the people to listen to the conversation today. And then if they decide that what I have is of value, I'll just ask. I won't give everybody, well, it's up there now, but if you guys feel like I added some value to the conversation today, we are 500 and I want to say 47 $100 donors away. We have a donor that's willing to give us $75,000 to match. So we just got to get 547 more donors at the $100 level. And then we'll hit that number. And then he will give us $75,000 and we'll be done with, fundraising. As, our sister Lavern said, the hardest part ain't the classes and teaching and reaching out to people. The hardest part is the fundraising. And we actually don't even apply for grants because even though I have major, tremendous conservative values, I'm also a libertarian. I don't believe that that's my money, even when it's a government grant. I believe that the people will grant me their money if they choose to do it because, and I'm not saying that, oh, if you take grants, you're horrible. I want to be very clear about that. I just want people to say, hey, I chose to donate to this. And it's not the government said we got everybody's money and we gonna say we gonna give something to Maj because I developed a relationship. So saying this to say, if I can earn your donation today via this conversation, please go to the site and donate. Again, we need 500. I mean, I'm talking about we will cross $1 million raised and given away, right? And we need 500 donors at the $100 level. But again, I'll ask everybody to reserve donating until you get some value from this conversation and donate at whatever level you choose.
Okay. G, can you show his page, please? I I wanted you to show it so we could take a look, so the people can see the clip. But anyway, you can go to his page on X and find all of his information. And let's help make this. Now, y'all know we have over 1,000 people that's on this show today, y'all. We have over 1,000 people, and he only needs 100 donors to give $100, and then he has someone that's going to match for the
I
$75,000.
think
Yeah,
he said he needed
it's
five hundred and
that's what I was gonna
forty-seven
say. It's
hundred dollars.
500,
Okay.
547 at the $100 level. Now again,
Okay.
everybody can give whatever they choose. For everybody that chooses to give at the $100 level or more, on that website right there, we have classes, online classes on civics, on firearms basics, as well as understanding imminent threat. And once a month, we do a family firearm safety class as well. My point is, every donor over $100, you get access to all three of those online classes. You schedule them at your leisure. You get curriculums for all of those classes. You get your own personalized link to sell our merch. And you get a commission for that. That's some of the merch right there. You also get access to the Solutionary Nine group, which is a group of folks that are saying, "Hey, we want to help you with dry fire drills. We want to help you with meal plans, workout routines," as we see right here in the Solutionary Nine. We just created a very holistic approach for if people want to get in shape, people want to get their mind right, people want to study, people want to get stronger, people want to shoot better, people want to learn about civics, people want to avoid conflict. We put that in a curriculum. And so every donor that donates over $100, you're automatically going to get sent the links to all of those things that I just mentioned. So we need 547 people to donate at the $100 level. Those people get access to all of the things that I just said, and we're able to chip away at a lot of that a whole, just like over time. It's a small amount, but it's a big enough amount that we can start chipping away piece by piece.
That's awesome.
Okay, we have someone, Marguerite said she's donated in the past and she's
Mhm.
going through a little something, but she would try to donate again later. So
Thank you.
I'm asking once again, like I said, we got over 1,500 people on this show right now. So I'm asking everyone that can please make a donation of any amount to help support this program because this is something that's very important. And this is a class that the majority of us really need to take, including myself,
Mhm.
you know. So Taj, if you would like to stay on the show, that's fine. But I just wanted you to really talk about what you're doing. And you're
Yeah,
also a conservative, and this is a conservative podcast. So you're welcome to stay on if you would like. Um,
absolutely.
okay, so me and the ladies, we gonna go on and dig right
So
on
wait, so wait,
into.
so wait, Tosh. What do you mean by you're a libertarian?
I'm a libertarian in the sense of like the Libertarian Party. I speak at CPAC all of the time. Actually, I think the last time Trump was in office, I was the main pres on the main stage right before President Trump was in office, if I'm not mistaken, the last time he was there. But there is some overlap between so the founders of America technically would be identified as um, libertarians, and when I say that, I mean in the sense of very limited government. Um, don't hurt people, don't bother their stuff. And sometimes now more lately, in the GOP, and I say this with all due respect, sometimes some of the conservative movement has gotten away. This is the reason why Trump and the MAGA movement has almost had to resurge and resurface to kind of like redirect the GOP in the direction of, hey guys, we got to limit government. Hey guys, we got to secure these borders. Hey guys, we might be doing a little bit too much reckless spending. And so saying that to say, I am a part of the libertarian concept, but there's so much overlap. A lot of the GOP is supposed to be doing a lot of the things that the founders said they wanted as it relates to America. And sometimes, and again, I say this with the utmost most respect. I'm friends with Thomas Massey. I'm friends with, Rand Paul. Ron Paul is obviously like everybody's OG as it relates to liberty in that regard. But what I'm saying that in a sense of, I think there needs to be more of an extreme because Democrats have been so extreme on one way that even some of the things that the GOP may have went through or used to represent, we kind of got pulled in that direction. So extreme disease, extreme treatment. So libertarian is for example, Donald Trump, President Trump has came to the Libertarian National Convention back in, I want to say, summertime or whatever time that was. I was there when he spoke about freeing Ross Ulbright, when he talks about getting rid of certain taxes on tips, when he talks about ending the Department of Education. These are things that Ron Paul spoke about for the last 40 years. And so, saying this to say, there does not have to be a negative competition between the GOP. Because those principles overlap. We do need balanced budgets. We do need limited spending. We do need secure
Term
borders.
limits.
Huh?
And we do need term limits.
Right, right. And so these are things that because even like down to George Washington, he was like, "Bruh, I don't want to be the president. I'm not interested. I want the people to govern themselves, and I want this, that, and the third." And so after being asked a bunch of times, he came back, and my point in saying that is the person that's supposed to be a public servant, they're not supposed to turn this into like they like low key poverty pimping. Like this ain't supposed to be a job that you want to do because I want to do this now from now until Nancy Pelosi's age, and you have not solved anything the entire time. I think about Gavin Newsom, and I've watched
Excuse
him.
me right there, Taj, because they may be
Yeah,
low poverty pimping where you at, but in Miami, it's like Jay-Z. They big pimping,
they
spending
big
G's,
pimping.
okay? They big pimping, spending G's on my end with their friends, with their
Yeah,
friends, and they don't give a damn who knows
when,
it,
when I
especially
say
on
they when I say they poverty pimping, I mean in the sense of because they definitely get money. It
Oh no,
ain't it ain't it ain't, it ain't like they coming in with $8 and leaving with 12.
right.
They coming in with $8 and staying to get it up to 880, 200 million. Like their net worth is
right.
going in that direction. They're convincing the people that we can't solve certain issues. Who comes to mind a whole lot? I went to California most of my young adult to adult life, and I've watched it fall, decline, right? And it's in California, these are still our brothers and sisters. These still are Americans. But the political class, when we're talking about people like Gavin Newsom, right? He has ran on, I'm going to end poverty for like and homelessness for like 20 years. For like 20, like if you run the tape back, you'll start to see, when he was a mayor, when he was this, he's asked for a budget to combat the homelessness issue for 20 years. And homelessness has steadily became more worse of an issue under his tenure. And so we are like almost rewarding horrible leadership and lack of problem solving with more tenure and more jobs and him asking, "Oh, well, just give me 5 more million and I promise you I could fix it this time." And so these are the things we've made for with Black Guns Matter in our work, right? We started in 2016 going into 2017, the fall, right? um there has been, and again, we have raised close to 1 million and gave it away. That's only $1 million. We have we had a stated goal of making the urban demographic the new largest gun buying demographic in America. And since 2017, that has consistently been accurate. And at that time, we had only raised about $50,000. So if me and my little small motley crew of people can state a goal, raise funds, still raise less than $1 million, and change the face of what gun ownership looks like in America, because it's Black women, the largest demographic of gun buyers in America since 2017, 2018, has been Black women. That was our stated goal. We did that with less than $1 million, just going all over the place, teaching the people that want to learn, offsetting the financial barrier to entry for anybody that wanted to learn. So if we've done that with $1 million, less than that, over 6, maybe 7 years, right? And we are cited in the Bruin decision, which was a landmark Supreme Court firearms decision for the state of New York. That Bruin decision, we are cited in it. So if we did all of this with $1 million and a little bit of time and some elbow grease, and you've had 20 years, Mr. Gavin Newsom, to tackle this issue, and you have not with literally billions of dollars. This speaks to the importance of getting rid of people that aren't actually ending our situation with results. And so these are the reasons why I lean or push people in more extreme in the sense of liberty, because some of our public servants just it's a money play. It's definitely a money play. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm a free market enterprise dude. I'm not talking about don't get no money. I ain't saying that.
I
You know what I'm
call them
saying?
celebrities. I call them self-serving celebrities. A lot of them, that's just what they are. You know,
Right.
they give a less of. I always say they could care less about their constituents. They don't even give a damn. Most of them, a lot of them,
Yeah.
especially in California, do not even give a damn about their own communities. You know, and they could care less about the people that
Yeah.
have voted for them and supported them as well. A lot of them are like that, especially if they've been in office over so long, they get to the point where they're basically ineffective. And a lot of times, especially in Congress, a lot of them don't even show up for the seat. Look at the
Right.
lady the one they just found out. They've been looking for her, and she's been in a nursing home for like what, over a
Three
year?
months.
3 months she was
She,
gone.
she
Okay,
she was
and
gone for 3 months, and they was like, "Oh, my bad." These are the things that we have to make sure that our demographic understands. It can go through and understand thoroughly, as well as hold people's feet to the fire as it relates to that. That's why for us, it can't just. It started with BGM. It cannot stay there. I can't tell someone about firearm safety and not have the conversation about safe and responsible firearms ownership, which means conflict resolution. I go everywhere with a gun. I'm a very, very dangerous person. However, as Jordan Peterson said, I have that danger under voluntary control. But if I can't communicate with a young person that wants to learn about firearms and tell that young man more specifically about, hey, conflict resolution and de-escalation. If I can't have a conversation with a gun owner about the Second Amendment, which that leads into the Bill of Rights, that leads into the conversation of the Constitution, that leads into the conversation of civics in general. And so our job is to make sure that we're targeting the communities that need it the most, not because we saying, like death to whitey. It's nothing like that. It just becomes more of a conversation around these are the communities that need the most. This community has been targeted the most with a certain level of ignorance around the subject matter. And I'm a clown if I know the information. I know some of the best shooters in the world. And if I can condense some of their teaching, I can do that. I can get Thomas Massey on the phone and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Thomas Massey's a genius. He's an engineer. Like he's one of the most principled. He has a libertarian background. And so saying this to say, for me to be able to distill this information and make it cost effective, meaning, some things folks pay for, some things, a lot of the classes are free. That is what our communities need. We need more of that information and education as opposed to the corrupt legislation that's been in support by, again, folks like Gavin Newsom. We go back to 2020, 2021. This, when you speak to, him being a person that doesn't really care about his constituents, remember him saying all of the other restaurants and wineries had to close, but his was open. His was open. And so we have to come to grips with the fact that there is a strong possibility that your public servants, so-called public servants, not only are they not doing the job, they actually hate you. They actually do not like you. And so we need to replace those people with sound people from the population that have a good understanding of it. And there's nothing better than getting folks from the rough and tumble that now have that information, that understand the importance of civics, they understand the importance of conflict resolution, they understand the importance of the Second Amendment, and get those folks. Now let's pull the public servant class from that pool of people. And that's a major role of our work at, the Solutionary Center and our website.
okay. On that note, G is gonna play a clip. G.
In yet another move to hamstring the MAGA agenda, Joe Biden's Department of Health and Human Services just extended the liability shield for COVID vaccine makers through the end of, we'll let you guess, 2029, the year that Trump will leave office. What are they shielding manufacturers from if these vaccines are so safe?
Plus, HHS's vaccine injury compensation program still doesn't cover injuries from the COVID vaccine. However, a different, little known government program can, but it's being slow walked. Of the more than 13,000 claims sent into the program alleging injury or death from the COVID vaccine or another COVID treatment, fewer than 3,500 have decisions.
And of those decisions, 18 claims have been compensated. 3,373 have been denied. Joining us now.
Well, we know those 18 were dead people. So, it's a sad, sad situation. Like I told you before on a show before, we had 17 deaths on one side of the family, 3 and 4 people dying in 1 week, people who were perfectly healthy having strokes, all of them double jabbed up. You couldn't tell them anything. When Kamala said it was an act of God, they believed it. Everybody's paying for it. Everyday people that we know that were injected, they're having problems. They're just not making it public. There are so many people that have been affected, and they're scared to say that they weren't.
And on top of that, they're still advertising the jabs. They still telling these seniors, oh, you need to get the jab and you need a booster. You need the flu shot. You need this. You need that. And it's just ridiculous that, a lot of times when it comes to older people, they like to just follow and believe whatever people said, instead of doing their due diligence to go to really try to find out what is going on with these shots and what actually is taking place. And in regards to what Taj was saying, yes, they was telling everybody to isolate. Don't go visit your grandparents. Don't go visit your family members, period. But at the same time, Obama threw a big ass birthday party for himself. And the other ones was taking their families on vacation. But, the everyday Americans was just supposed to isolate and not go and visit your family. So how many people really died in isolation, feeling alone, like nobody really cared about them from just sitting at home listening to the fake ass news media?
Well, I mean, if you look at it now, everybody's talking about this new population deficit that we're having. Even Elon Musk globally, for the most part, in some countries, with the exception of Africa, because nobody wore a mask in Africa, nobody got the shot in Africa. Okay. But every other country is now at this population deficit from where we were 20 years ago. And they did the census from 4 years ago until now. And everybody's asking the question, what's going on with this population control or the deficit? If you look at all of the women who lost their babies because they got the shot, if you look, I mean, it's the miscarriages, the babies being stillborn, those numbers were never publicly reported,
Right.
and they were horrendous. I mean, 17, how do you get to a point of 17% of newborns and stillbirths in women aged 29 to 35? Where do you get, how does that happen? Immediately. It was an immediate situation. I have 2 friends that are funeral home directors. They both own their own funeral homes. Both of them in Chicago. The Rago Funeral Home, they were the home that buried Al Capone, 6 generations. And then there's a Black gentleman, this Leak family. And when they did the autopsies, they have all said it. They all saw these strong string-like materials inside of the bodies, and nobody would take their data from them and publish it. And we're talking about funeral home owners. The Black guy has 6 funeral homes. The Rago funeral home has 3, and both of them are very good friends of mine. And nobody would take their information. As a matter of fact, they were paid extra to put COVID on the death certificate.
Well, and the same thing with the hospitals.
Same thing with the hospital.
Same thing with the hospitals.
This is 100% the reason why the general public, because the hoods across America were generally skeptical, and we got ridiculed. And then other platforms that repeated what people in our demographic were saying, they got ridiculed. They when President Trump said we should look into ivermectin, we should look into hydrochloroquine, the leftist media jumped out there and crafted a narrative and said, "Oh, he's telling people to drink bleach. He's telling people to take horse medicine." These are evil people that when we were talking, ivermectin has been around forever,
Ever.
known as a safe, inexpensive preventative measure. This was already here. Ivermectin factories and hydrochloroquine factories started just randomly blowing up,
Yep.
literally. And
Yep.
so these are the things that I'm talking about. While our demographic, we may have that gut feeling like something ain't right here. We don't know why we don't trust y'all. We don't really trust y'all, right? And so we need to make sure that we're feeding that by going, here's the history, here's the information. On top of that, here's the reason why the founders of America said you shouldn't be listening to or blindly trusting government. When there's this massive propaganda campaign, when there is a censorship campaign, when the medical arena, the pharmaceutical arena, so-called big tech and government all work in tandem to limit people's perspective, the hood gets it because we like, y'all been bothering us for a very, very long time.
Yep.
Our communities need to be able to say it with conviction, data, and information, and the civic and legal backing that says, no, you can't do this to us. You can't. We would get so much more done in America if off top, urban centers, Chicago, Philadelphia, Newark, LA, Atlanta, Miami, if these places, Detroit, if these places went, we don't believe you and we're not going along with it. That's the reason why they concentrate that information and that energy in our demographic. No, no, and again, I'm an American. I love my country. I hate and am not cool with this government. I don't. I
Exactly.
don't rock with it. And so I'm supposed to believe that this same government that created the Dred Scott decision that said black descendants of Africans do not have any constitutional rights. That was a precedent set by the SCOTUS. You expect me to now just blindly trust that same government that, like, you know what? We got to hook the black people up. Y'all take the jab first. You expect me to believe that, and everybody in the hood's going, yo, Maj, what you think? And I'm going like, your gut is right. Absolutely not. Absolutely
Exactly.
not. And to your point, that data coming out, I was not familiar with those studies or that experience with those morgues and morticians
Yes.
and them not being willing. What was the response that they got when they tried to share the information with medical professionals that
They
they didn't
never.
want to
Oh,
touch
they
it?
didn't want to accept it. They didn't want to.
They
And
would
this is.
they would
They
not
didn't want to
allow it.
accept it.
They would not
Mm.
allow that to get out. They did not want that to get out, and including the information
They said they had never
when they
seen
was
this
giving the
before.
shots,
And we're
when they was
talking
giving
about
the
five
shots to
generations of
kids.
funeral homes and six funeral homes for one guy and three for the other. Neither of them had ever seen this in the history of their business, and they would not accept that data.
Wow.
It's sometimes it's not, I don't need you to say something or do something. Sometimes what you don't do and what you don't say
Right.
speaks volumes to me.
Exactly. I think there's like this Latin term, is it qui tacet constatir videtur, which means the one who remains silent is complicit. Yes, that's it.
Fauci fading into the back like the Homer Simpson meme,
Yep. Yes, he
you know.
is. Yes, he is. It's a
So
sad situation.
The COVID vaccine, the CDC is now saying that there has been enough cases of people who have had the vaccine, received the vaccine, and then suffered a stroke. The agency will now be investigating any potential links between the shots and the strokes in some of those patients.
And also, some people that had those shots became instantly paralyzed, and I know a few of them that happened to also.
My
We
cousin had a stroke. They don't want to admit. I mean, she was a school teacher, elementary school teacher, probably one of the healthiest in a family of 13. Had a brain stroke, had to relearn how to walk, talk, eat, smell. And nobody wants to admit that this was something that they all volunteered to do after me, but they didn't want to believe me because I was a Trumper. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't come to Thanksgiving. I'm like, okay. And now you're all dead. You're all dead. You're all
Wow.
dead.
A
you, you
very
know
close friend of mine, she had that shot. I know she did it. And after that, that lady died. She was healthy. Nothing was wrong with this
Nothing.
lady.
Nothing.
Same exact story I had. There was a young lady that I was aware of at the time. We would chop it up. She would argue me down. She would argue back and forth. She got the jab. She travels a lot. She went out of the country, and it was like, "Oh, you got." What she told us was, if she like shut down. She had to wind up seeing the hospital over there, all of this other good stuff,
Wow.
and I had to fly her back. My point in saying that is, he said it was malaria. And in my mind, I'm like,
No.
listen, bro, you done traveled around the globe however many times, but okay, I get it. You my sister, I ain't tripping. If you got malaria,
Right.
okay, I,
I
I
was
ain't
in
tripping.
Lagos. I was in Lagos. Nobody wore a mask. You know who died in Lagos? The wealthy people, because they were in the air conditioner, the air conditioning. The poor people were outside in the heat where
In
COVID
that
did not
sun.
exist. You wear a mask in Lagos, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Okay.
Rightfully so.
Nobody wore a mask in Africa. People would. They have ivermectin because it's $3. It's
Right.
300 naira to buy ivermectin. So everybody has that. That's what they keep in the house, like we keep Tylenol. So it was a sad, sad thing. But Africa, they weren't playing with the shot. They just they're like, you crazy.
Okay.
Right.
So
They
now,
they was the hood.
hold
They
on,
was
y'all.
like, who? Them?
Hold on. 1 minute. 1 minute. So now we have a comment that I would like to address. The bottom
Hmm.
one, G, that said, "What do you all have to say? What do you all have to say about the massive wave of KKK, Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups finding a new home on Twitter ever since the Trump victory?"
Uh, uh, ladies first, because
You know
yeah, go
what?
ahead.
I think that goes both ways. We have a black group of foundational black Americans who I feel like are
That
on that same tip. So it's not anything but anybody expressing what they feel about certain situations, and they have the right to do so. So I don't frankly care.
I think
neither do
this. I think the whole concept, the question in and of itself, the framework and the narrative set up wrong. Um, what you're saying is not true. And even when Elon bought X, then Twitter, he spoke to the deal almost didn't go through because he was like, a lot of these are bots. A
Bots.
lot of these are not actual people. And we got to clear that out before we got to do this different valuation. And I'm glad he did. However, um, I think a lot of that, again, we cannot ignore the Twitter files. We cannot ignore that the FBI and other intelligence agencies were complicit in coercion to social media platforms around that time. We cannot ignore that there are bunches of people and bot farms, literally bot farms, that are there to spread a narrative.
Yep.
Oh, this is the one platform that has a little bit more free speech. We don't know if we can control this guy completely, like we made Zuckerberg bend over, which he said in Congress. Zuckerberg said it. They kind of made me do it, right?
Yep.
With that being the case, we got to do things to make this place look like it's a haven for hate speech, so forth and so on. So the framework that Austin is saying, I don't believe. I think it's set up that way. If you believe it's that, okay. If we go with we believe it's that, they have the right to say whatever they want, and I get a chance to block them. I love throwing a block party. I
Right.
love it. I love just blocking everybody. Um, but to associate that more specifically with the Trump victory, when for countless times, and again, I'm a libertarian, countless times you can't change the fact that Donald Trump has disavowed so-called white supremacists,
Over
racists,
and
and
over.
all of these openly, all of that, all of the time. And so, no, Austin, I do not think that there has been a rise and a massive wave of KKK white supremacists and hate groups finding a new home on X. I do not believe that concept, and I don't submit to it. And if it was true, I still would go, I don't give a damn. Like people
That's what I said.
talking,
I don't care.
like people just saying things on the end. I'm a lot older than people think, and I look a lot younger than people think. So I'm in a weird in between. I am old enough where like to have to be actually outside. So this thought process that somebody's gonna say words to me on an app from a back, like a page with like a private account and with like letters and numbers after their name,
Right.
and I'm supposed to take that person seriously. No, I think a lot of things on social media are psyops, and I definitely think that that so-called wave is a part of that, and I just don't take it too seriously. You gotta strip me of my, if you want to strip me of my aggression, and you want to strip me of my position, and you want to disrespect me, you got to come do it manually. You got to
Right.
show up and do it. You got to like come see me in real life. I post my location all of the time. I'm in North Philadelphia right now. I post my exact location is XYZ. I don't believe anything on the internet that I cannot find data for. And if it's people like saying a name and like saying what they're going to do to me because they hate me, I would like you to come try it. So
You
I
know,
want these
that's the
I want these
thing.
guys to really show up. I want them to show up,
This
and I if
this
they don't
the
show up, I
thing.
don't believe it.
But that
Nobody is hiding. Nobody is
nobody.
running from them. Nobody is afraid, even afraid of them. You know, so when they say things that I think they supposed to like be trying to instill fear, they have to realize that anytime you work with people in the hood, you don't have no, because you cannot be a weak ass big old P word, and I'm trying to be nice today. You cannot be that and work with people in the hood, because when you work doing providing any type of service in the hood to help people, I don't even care if it's a damn Christmas event. You putting your life on the line to help people. So they gonna try you every time that they come. I don't care if you're doing the food distribution. It's gonna be somebody there with a knife or a gun, and you just giving out food, trying to make sure that grandma can go home with food. But trust me, it's gonna be somebody with a knife there to talk shit to you. You know, it's gonna be somebody with a gun. It's gonna they because it's so many people that show up, but a lot of them don't come to get food. They just come to cause problems. So anytime you're doing any type of work with anybody in the hood, one thing about it, you're not walking around living your life in fear, because you
No,
cannot be afraid when you providing a service and you're out here trying to help people. Okay, baby. You cannot be afraid when you out here helping people, because every day it's like a jungle when you dealing with them, you know, and it's not
here's my argument to that. Here's my argument, right? If you are a KKK member, why are you all like? And again, I don't want to invite any smoke unnecessarily. I want to be very clear about that. I'm a man of peace. I'm a man of peace. My question just becomes, when are these people going to get off the internet and come address us?
they're not gonna do
But
that.
see, and that's where everything
They're
is
not
wrong.
gonna
What
do
was
that.
it?
They wanna inbox you all the threats. Like when I ran for Congress, I'm gonna say it again, in 2020, I got so many threats in my inbox. Monkey, come back to the plantation. Monkey this, monkey that. But what they failed to realize, I'm in the hood. I'm dealing with people. I hear that type of stuff all the time. You not saying nothing to me that's even like remotely getting ready to intimidate me. It's no fear here.
But
It's no
Austin
fear
doesn't.
here.
He doesn't understand that the KKK is no longer the KKK that they thought it used to be.
Right,
The KKK now has businesses, just like the mafia. They went from
right,
organized crime to business. So the KKK is not going to come to your hood and hang you, because they're controlling the business and buying the real estate next door to
right,
you. So you have
right,
no idea that your thought process is antiquated, because nobody's thinking about you right now. They're thinking about power, control, and money. That's
right.
it.
And at the top is all green. Ain't nobody worrying about whether somebody is white or black. At that top is all green. And they don't give a damn what color you are. Look at the NFL. Come on. Most of them black men are marrying white women. Get over it. Stop trying to push something. Stop trying to push that narrative. Because let me tell you something. I have been to many black events, whether it's a black State of the Union or whatever. When I walk in that room, black people looking at me, rolling their eyes, everything. On the other hand, I've been to other events where it's all white people in the room. They're like, "Hi, how you doing, ma'am? You know,
Mm.
nice to meet you. Would you like to speak?"
Come on in. You
I
know,
don't get that when I walk into a room full of black people. You
ever.
know, and they
I,
looking
I
at me like, "What's up?" And I'm looking at them like, "What's up?" You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
it
What you want to do?
I think it depends on, I think both of those perspectives are fair. And I think to the point, you got jerks that happen to be white, you got jerks that happen to be black. You got jerks that happen to be, or awesome people that happen to be black, awesome people that happen to be white. The fear factor of somebody behind a screen sending me a message like, man, I monetize it. We send out an email in our
Right.
newsletter. You know, I'll go, look, yo, y'all, look at what this person said. If y'all want to donate in their name, support the
Right.
work, and we have a joke. Everybody donate $5 in this
Right.
person's name. We make fun of it. That, like, you ain't gonna, what you gonna do to me? You ain't gonna
Not
do nothing to me. Like,
nothing.
you. So I just think that it's kind of like a fear factor to get people. It's poker. If I can bluff you, I can beat you. If I
Right.
can scare you and say, "Oh, the KKK's up the street," as opposed to you thinking about, um, how am I going to generate resources, to your point, buy this building next door and turn that storefront into something that's productive for myself, my community, my legacy, my family, my community. These are the things that we have to shift our narrative on, not people saying words like, "Oh, you use the N word on me." So, like,
So
and
So when I'm out, I see Hispanic people, they calling each other niggas. My nigga. I see white people, "What's up, my nigga?" That's how they talk to each other. So, just cause you said the word nigga, it's no big ass thing anymore. That's just how people communicate and talk to each other, you know. And it does, and the nigga does not even reflect the damn color. So just cause you sitting up calling somebody a nigga, it's not like they home crying, "Oh my God, somebody called me a nigga. Oh, I'm so insulted." That type of thing is not taking
yeah,
place. You that type of thing like being played out. So that is totally ineffective. But
right.
anyway, G, play a clip.
Austin thought he said something.
This is at the training. Oh my God.
This woman
This
was a PhD student,
Was
and
she?
she was a PhD student. This
what?
girl, they don't want to put her name because the family is going through so much with the world watching their daughter burn like this.
Yeah.
I don't care what the circumstances are. All the illegals must go. I have no remorse. And this was before this incident. Like I told you before, I was trying to get to the airport. There was an accident. I had to jump out the Uber and get on the train. And you had these illegals, brand new clothes, brand new shoes, taunting old people coming from bingo, spitting
Wow.
on them. I ran out the train, ran into a different train. They are out of hand. They are flagrant. They think that they rule this country now because they've come here under the premise that they can have and take anything they want because this government is going to give it to them. And that's exactly how they treat tax-paying American citizens. They all have to go.
100%. When I saw this, I initially was like, "This is AI. This is CGI. This is not." And I had a fireman friend of mine up and asked him, and he was like, "Nah, that's 'cause the stillness of the woman." I was like, "Man, that's got to be fake." And then the one person doing, come to find out, the person that was doing, from my understanding, the guy that was doing the fanning was the actual person that lit her on fire.
Yep.
And
Wow.
so this is a person that, if you can call him that, uh, that was here illegally, that was already deported once, deported under Trump,
Yep.
let back in under the Biden administration, and here we are. I am again. I'm a libertarian, and there's always the conversation in libertarian circles around: does the state get a arbitrary? We get to say where the lines are, and we say this is this, and I want to believe that humans should be able to travel the whole world. I want to believe that. I want to believe that I should be able to go to Lagos and just hang out for as long as I want to, right? As long as I'm observing the customs, respecting the rules. If I want to be in Tokyo, if I want to, if I want to go back to Sweden, I love Austria in the wintertime. If I want to go to these places, I believe that as a human, I should be able to get on the plane and go there. And I believe that. Unfortunately, those rights have to be reciprocated, which means that State Department has to go, we're okay with this because you bring out your tourism dollars here and we're okay with that. So those rights have to be reciprocated. So that's a Shangri-La Nirvana thought process that I have. Now, when I dial that back to reality, we have scumbags like this that exist. I can't even fathom what was the reason for lighting this person on fire in the first place. Like, these are the things that it makes me. This is why when I say I'm a libertarian, but I, in some areas, have more of a hardcore conservative, we have to secure a border conversation. I can have my moral conversations and I can have my reality and legal conversations. And I think those are separate conversations. And this is an indication of not only that thing, those things that I just expressed, but this also speaks to the general public being willing and being armed. This happened in New York City. New York City and Governor Hochul are still trying to, after the Supreme Court decision, the Bruin decision, are still trying to make it difficult for people to have firearms and defend themselves as they carry and move about the city. So if you have more people that are willing to defend against these type of things, to step up, to, intervene. I'm going to put myself in between myself and a goofball doing something to an American or any human. That's wrong. And so when we have government saying, Daniel Penny, AOC said this, Daniel Penny makes the trains more dangerous. AOC had, to my understanding or knowledge, has not said anything about this unlawfully accepted into the bosom of America person that has set someone on fire on a public transportation system.
And then the police not even offering to help. That
And he
shows
was
the state
standing right
of New
there
York City.
looking. I mean, you have people. First of all, I would like to say condolences to the family that lost their loved one. Prayers up and everything for this lady that lost her life over this foolishness and this senseless situation. But why is it that we as a society have become so complacent to these type of situations that when people see this type of things taking place, it's like they don't even want to get involved to help people
They pull
anymore.
out the phone and record.
Right.
Nobody is
Yeah.
offering any type of assistance. And there was this man that set her on fire, posted a video an hour before of him complaining that he just wanted to be in America, but these people give him a hard time. So he goes and sets a woman sleeping on the train because she's been studying all night and sets her on fire. And this is why I don't care. Black people need to get it in their heads. And I think Chicago realizes it. All illegals have to go. Black women in general, specifically. Oh, well, we need these illegals. They helping to clean the toilets. You know what? Teach your sons and daughters how to own businesses, and you will never have to think about that. So I don't want Black people to automatically find compassion for these illegals who it should be and must be mandatory for them to be eliminated and eradicated out of these neighborhoods. And they dropped them all in the hood. The West Side is now run by the cartel. So what are we doing here? Black people, remember, this is not your fight. Like you say, everything else, This is not your fight.
It ain't mine. I'll
It ain't
go,
my fight.
bro. That don't. Hey, listen. Lack of school choice. Just getting back from trying to recover from redlining. Just now with the advent of iPhones and technology, just starting to wake up about maybe these Democrats haven't been the best for my community. We just getting to that space. I love that they talking about generational wealth.
Right.
I love that we're talking about personal protection. We're talking about. I loved over the last few years traveling, and I did an interview on a podcast, and I think it was Reason magazine, and I remember saying, um, black people are going to save America from Joe Biden, and everybody laughed. People, even the interviewer laughed. They was like, yeah, "You think so?" And I was like, "Yeah, because I've been traveling all around the country for the last 2 years in this RV doing these classes, and it was more of a like, listen, bro, I didn't sign up for this. Okay, media got me. I didn't like Trump, but I did kind of like Trump, and media got me. But come on, my point in saying this is, I love that the communities that I live in are waking up to it and making different decisions. It was overwhelming. I love seeing leftist narratives and media get mad that, yeah, I love seeing Obama going, hey guys, you guys aren't giving us the turnout
Right.
that you giving her for me. I love it because we going, what you got for me, baby? What you've had and what you've given us
Yep.
is not giving us the type of this is what
It's
politics
not
about.
giving.
It's not given.
It's not
It's not
giving.
given. It's politics is the securing, maintenance, and expansion of your interests. And if you can't do that for me, baby, hey, listen, champ, I got to go with what makes the most sense. Any group of people that would put their need to be accepted, desired, or wanted before their own self-interest is a group of people that won't exist
Will
for very long.
expire. They will expire. No
And
question.
so I love seeing the people tapping in and going like, absolutely not. And again, to your point, 1000% condolences to this family. I don't know the family.
Right.
However, this is the pain that, my child's mother died in October, and experiencing my daughter having to deal with a pain that, I quite honestly did not know how to console her in, right? That still pales in comparison to what these parents and family members will have to deal with. That will be the story, and it will be an internet meme. And 10 years from now, somebody will kind of make fun of it, but that's their baby. And so I don't have a certain level of respect for an individual that would choose to do those things. And I love that the people are kind of like tapping in and going like this is absolutely unacceptable. And again, that's the best I can say is condolences to that family and making sure that we're doing things, informing our communities and crafting legislation. And it ain't even like we got to make new legislation. We
Right.
just got to actually secure the border. This isn't complicated, and
Right.
so that's kind of like my take on it.
Okay. G, roll the next clip.
So this is my clip, and The Hill dropped an article that said that Congress now has the right to stop Trump from becoming president, attempting to use Section 3 in the
Oh
14th
wow.
Amendment, saying that, no person who has held office can be guilty of, being part of an insurrection in the United States. And they're saying that in order to get this done, they must do it right now. For me, I think The Hill should be sued for attempting to even placate trying to start a civil war in this country, because that's what this would mean. So when you have media outlets, they still have not learned their lesson. This is another reason why Trump will be sitting in the Oval come 2 o'clock on January 20th. This is the exact reason. The Hill, I don't even know. I don't know the last time I read The Hill. Maybe the last time I read it, I was in it. They were talking shit about me. But this is not, something that we normally pay attention to, but this is still something happening on the other side that we're no longer paying attention to because we're so happy that Trump won. These are things that they're, implying, on the opposition. So on the opposing side. So we still need to pay attention. Democrats are way too quiet. I say it every chance I get. There's no way they're going to let Trump like smoothie and just glide on into the White House on January 20th without burning everything down. And we have to pay attention.
We have to pay attention. I agree. I agree with that we got to pay attention. Prayers up. I always tell people we need to keep the president in prayer because he's fighting a lot of demonic demons and wickedness in high places. So,
The last time I was on the Hill, I think I was there in person. I think I might have did something. If this is the same platform that I think, I was there and I think it's in DC if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, obviously it's in DC, but I think it's in the same building as C-SPAN if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, um, I get somewhat passes because I be talking to gun stuff and gun and urban. And so they low key can't really all the way box me in because they like, well, he's doing stuff in the black community and he's pushed back against certain things, da da da. But I think that my relationship with the Hill has always been when they ask me stuff, it's always been, hey, this is the work that I'm doing in this demographic. So it's almost impossible to argue against that. Like it's like almost you can't argue against it.
Right.
Um, but this right here is like, okay, guys. So what you guys are saying is first, he won. Y'all said it was Russian collusion.
Right.
Then he lost, and everybody was like, "You guys made a global pandemic and pushed the mail-in ballot boxes. There was irregularities in all of the swing states, and y'all was like, you guys are just sore losers." He lost fair and square, and then when Dominion sued Fox, and Fox was like, "We don't have time for this. We just gonna settle,
Right.
whatever." Right? You guys were like, "See, this is proof that he lost fair and square." Okay, cool. Then he does damn near a Rocky Part 3, comes back again, wins all the way across the board. And it's my personal view that it's low
That
key
happened in
like,
2020. It was the same
right?
map. It was the same map. It was the same map.
And so I'm like, okay, but okay, y'all. Now y'all are mad that he won. So you're not really saying he cheated the same way. You're saying other people are like, yo, he on the left, hey, he won. We're gonna accept the rules that or whatever. You're saying that publicly. But then you get quiet like a wounded animal. Always give a wounded animal a way out. Because when you back them against the wall, they fight even harder.
yep.
So you guys get a way out. We give you the way out. We go, okay, cool. He won. Y'all think he won? It was a popular electoral. We all good on it? Okay, cool. Now you sons of bitches are quietly going, we gotta try this last ditch attempt.
The
I
Hail
thought y'all,
Mary.
yeah, I thought y'all just said that it's gonna be an easy transition of power. Now here's where I think is all divine timing because low key, Biden winning and the economy being so bad because of by every metric, he's just been horrible. Every metric. His decline, he declined too damn fast. Y'all tried to prop him up. He's weakened at Bernie's. You couldn't prop him up for too long. I get it. This is this bad that the general public, the Americans, was like, I, I, I thought I was gonna get some like legalized weed. I thought I was gonna get like my school loan taken care of. I thought whatever they thought. Then they go, she was there the whole time, and y'all ousted him. And we don't even get somebody as handsome and at least as crafty as what's his name over in Cali again,
Gavin Newsom.
Newsom. So y'all telling me we getting her? Then the general public goes, no, thank you. We don't want to be a part of it. He gets in. Everybody, the consensus in the hood is like, yeah, we didn't want her. We just didn't. And you guys are then attempting to do this. I'm not necessarily mad at the Hill for reporting it, right? I am more so questioning and concerning the people that are trying to do this very underhandedly and under the table. I wouldn't have known if the Hill didn't write the story. Because you're so clandestine and so damn sneaky. As opposed to saying, yo, this is the win that y'all said y'all want. These are free and fair elections.
I mean, they said it was the biggest political comeback in history. So what's the problem? I mean, you've admitted to all of this. It took you to 6 o'clock in the morning to call the race for Trump, but yet you all said it. What's the problem?
This
Wow.
is
I have a clip right here, y'all. Go ahead, G. And we kind of running out of time, but I'm gonna do this last clip real quick.
Mhm.
Thank you guys for having me. I am here to talk about an assignment that was showed into my daughter's classroom. I'm going to read the assignment. I do have a picture, but that's neither here nor there. It says, stand in a circle. Each of you is now gay or lesbian, and you're about to begin your coming out process. You cannot talk for the rest of this activity. I don't see how this is part of the California curriculum for education. There's nothing that it does other than groom children. It's not okay. It's disgusting, and it should not be allowed. I was told by the vice principal of Rancho the first time I called that it was not part of the curriculum. I then emailed Dr. Villarreal. He emailed me back saying, oh no, this is definitely part of the curriculum, this specific activity. Then he had one of his other vice principals call me to confirm that it was really part of this curriculum. I have tried to get into contact with Dr. Villarreal over the phone about 7 times, 8 times, and just failed every single time. He has not reached out to me himself personally, other than the first email contact that we had. I have reached out to Dr. Matt Doyle. I do understand that we will be having a meeting between January 6th and the 13th, I believe. So there is that. I don't think that this assignment should ever be taught to any children. It does not do anything other than groom them. Should not be allowed. Anybody who teaches this should be fired immediately. That's all I have to say about it.
Okay, thank you. I sent a clip in because the fact that this is part of the curriculum, basically they're teaching them to be gay and have told them that each of you is either gay or lesbian. Now act out what you would do if you're going to come out and tell the world. This is California. This is California. Soon, they've got some crazy stuff in the curriculum here in Chicago. So I'm just trying to figure out what, and I do believe Trump came out and said on day one, all of the crazy trans stuff is just going to go. What is going to happen with these schools, public schools? Are we going to do away with the Department of Education? Because these kids have absolutely no shot. And this is another reason why we have a population decline. We've got this, going across the board. So I just feel like, look, this is bigger to me than the trans issue, because the trans issue is a small, minute number of people. We're talking about the Department of Education.
This is so sad. What about the kids that don't have a good relationship with their parents and can't go home to even discuss this in the first place? And also in our community, it's a lot of people that are still in the dark when it comes to what's actually taking place in the classroom now. So many of them are clueless about these kids' books that are like porno flicks. And they're supposed to be cartoons, and everything in it is all sexual orientation. So, that would have been slap a bitch day for me in the school.
Right.
Straight up, slap a bitch, just bow. Because this stuff is so stupid. It's so stupid. How can you go into a classroom where education is, it's no longer about education. It's all about sexual orientation for these kids. These young minds that are easy to influence. So now this is what we are doing in these classrooms, and it should be against the law. They should be locking their ass up. But of course, in commie California, what would you expect?
This is why I got kicked off of X. I think I might have been at like a few 100,000 followers. I said, if you're in my community and I catch you reading sexual things to children in a library or something, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna assault you. I'll probably be arrested, and then I'll bail out. And then when I bail out, if I find out you doing it again, I'm gonna assault you again because I don't give a fuck. And it started picking up, and I was like, "Wow, it's a lot of engagement." And Twitter kicked me off of Twitter.
Wow.
Wow.
Mo-
Well, at least you only
um,
got kicked off once. I've been kicked off of Twitter 3 times.
I'm surprised I haven't been kicked off yet. Thank the Lord, because y'all know how my mouth is set up.
it,
Uh,
and it's so wild to look at it, and then you know, making sure that we are recognizing what we're up against. The fact that your brain, as the educator, says we need to have these babies talk about a sexually explicit situation. I don't care if it's gay, straight. There's no reason to have this conversation.
no
This is a
reason at all.
there's a
None.
conversation that a parent has with the child as the child
Right.
goes into a developing situation, but there's no reason for a parent to have this. Excuse me, instructor to have this conversation with a student. And
That type of power over any child.
yep, yep. Same thing. I'm gonna assault you. If I find you doing things like that, I'm gonna hit you.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna hit you. Like this is what it is.
So, swing
Okay,
for
y'all. I
Chicago
have
because
to
it's a lot
close
of
the
people for you
show.
to rock.
I have to close the show, y'all. So please keep it short. But Taj, go ahead, tell them where to find you at again. I don't want to get cut off, so let's end it. But Taj, go ahead and say what you got to say. Y'all just make it quick and short.
For sure. Everybody can support the work. If you got some value from the conversation today, please, guys, go over to givesendgo.com/solutionary. That's my X page right there at the bottom below. That's the link right there, givesendgo.com/solutionary. We need 547 more donors at the $100 level. Give at whatever level you choose if you got some value from the show tonight. And make sure you are sharing the show all over the place. These conversations need to be spread far and wide, and that happens because of you.
Okay, right now we have over 3,000 people on this show. So y'all please donate to the cause. Please like and follow his page and like and follow all of my guests' page for the latest information. Go ahead, Trevian.
So thanks again for having me again, Lavern. Pleasure to get on here with you, Maj. I just want to say I want everybody to use their better thinking going into 2025. If I don't get a chance to talk to you prior to then, do what's best for you and your family, protect you and your family, be a positive, force in this country because we all need each other. And you can find me on X at Free Trevian. On every other platform, it's Trevian Cutie. Thanks so much.
Okay, everybody, I am Lavern Spicer, your host of Hood Conservative. That's Trevian Page. Y'all please like and follow her page because she has a lot of the latest information that's taking place right now. Also, follow me on Rumble, and you can also find all of my videos and shows on YouTube as well. And please, that's my page on Rumble. Please follow me on Rumble. All of my podcasts are there. And also, if you enjoyed the show, please, you can send a donation to my Cash App, which is right there at the bottom. Lavern Spice. You can cash out me right there. And I would like to say happy holidays to everyone. May God bless you, y'all. We still have a lot of work to do so far as our country is concerned. Um, but like and follow me on Rumble. That's really important. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me out right there. And happy holidays. Much love, family. See you next week. Same place right here on X as well as Rumble on Thursday at 3. Y'all put that on your calendar. Follow me. If you would like to come on my show, please inbox me on X. Thank you very much, and y'all have a blessed,
Happy New
great
Year.
All right.
happy
Peace, y'all.
New
Happy
Year.
New Year. All right, peace.
Hi, I'm Lavern Spicer, and I'm asking for your support today. Thousands of Americans struggle to get food, and they wonder where their next meal is going to come from. But I'm here, been working with them for over 25 years to provide food to people that need it the most, right here at our community food bank. So today, I'm asking you for your support. Please provide a contribution to help make a real difference in our community and to help us feed people. And you can do it right here. Donate today on Cash App, and you will see the link above.